good friend of mine introduced me to the book Tents in the Clouds, about the women who in 1955 pioneered the first ever all-women expedition to the Himalayas. Blew my mind, this book. Love this book. And so I thought, I need to go to Jugal. I need to go and climb with a bunch of women in the footsteps of the 55 expedition. So I called Emma.
Pauline I've known since I was a trainee at Glenmore Lodge when I was 21, 22. And she was the marketing manager, comms manager there at the time.
Sarah again was night watch, and Lucy was also night watch, so all three of them have done night watch. I'm the only one who hasn't done night watch.
Emma asked me, then said to me, how do you fancy it? And I was like, oh, yeah, sounds great. And it's with Pauline and Emma and Sarah. And I was like, oh, totally, yeah. And it was all because of the characters of the people.
For me, when I was asked if I wanted to go on this trip, I said yes because I wanted to go on a trip, like an adventurous trip with that group of people.
Safety, fun, summit is what I say, because if you got safety, you're coming home. That is success. If you're having fun, that is success. If you get to the summit, success. So there's loads of elements of success on this. So, and if we can also bring more than just a mountain experience back with us in terms of the environmental and the community projects that we've got going alongside, success. So Jugal, the area, is part of the Sindhupalchok municipality, and it's been ignored basically because it hasn't had this 7,000, 8,000 metre peaks. So Langtang, Everest, Annapurna, they've all got the big mountains. The ladies of the 1955 expedition, Monica, Evelyn, Elizabeth, I feel like I know them, they asked around and went, where needs exploring? We need to go and explore. And at the time, Bill Tillman and his peer group had pretty well explored most of the Himalayan range there, but he stopped at Jugal. So this area hadn't been explored. They said, okay, we'll go to Jugal, we'll go and explore it. Amazing, they did a 6,700 metre peak in 1955, but then it was forgotten until 2019. Nobody did another peak until 2019. So really, when Milan said to me in 2018, will you come and do Guy Alzin with us? I had no idea that actually that was the chocolate box of Jugal he was about to open.
अर्को चाहिँ काठमाडौँबाट हामी बेस क्याम्पसम्म जाने चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट कल्चरहरू भेट्छौँ हामीले भोलि हामीले त्यो कल्चर भेट्छौँ मोर देन 4-5 डिफ्रेन्ट कम्युनिटी कल्चर वी क्यान meet on the way. We call that musical trail Jugal also. So different culture को चाहिँ community को culture lifestyle देखिएर चाहिँ यो एकदमै महत्त्वपूर्ण कल्चर भेट्ने भएको कारणले चाहिँ 3-4 वटा कुरा महत्त्व एउटा चाहिँ नजिकको डेस्टिनेसन दोस्रो बेस क्याम्पको महत्त्वपूर्ण अर्को चाहिँ धार्मिक महत्त्व र अर्को चाहिँ कल्चर लाइफस्टाइलको महत्त्व 4 वटा कुरा चाहिँ इज अ भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट Jugal mountain range.
Part of this film is to make sure that, well, I'm not barking up the wrong tree there. I want to make sure that when we go through these villages, I'm going to be asking the question, do you want adventure tourism here? Because I'm coming from an adventure tourism background. I'm presuming you want it.
This area is going to become more used, more popular. You know, things like waste management are going to be a really big consideration. We've spent loads of time sort of thinking and chatting about how we think we should maybe manage human waste and that sort of thing. And we've not come up with great answers. We've got ideas. So again, we'll be having a chat with the folks in country about what their thoughts are and what their sort of plans would maybe be.
This is we call Chendang Monastery. There's an old monastery, and then so many years ago, and then a legend Guru Rinpoche, he stayed so many times here. Okay. So he built the monastery here. So who are Buddhist, they believe that this is a most important place for Buddhist people.
I think so.
Ah, Chitra. Hi.
Hi.
Pauline, how are you feeling, old bird?
Really good, really good. I'm following Deepa and Anisha. They're 18 and I'm not trying to keep up with them.
We had a big snowfall last night where the kids all built snowmen and had snowball fights, so it was a lot of fun, but it's definitely potentially getting to base camp a day or two back. There's another team ahead of us. We're heading to the same base camp and they had to pause at another location due to the weather. And we've heard this morning that they're potentially going to get a helicopter to base camp, which has blown our minds.
मेरो नाम पछि शेर्पा म यो गाउँमा खेतीपाती अहिले फेरि काठमाडौँ बस्न गएको छु बच्चा स्कुल पढाउन हिजो अस्ति आएको चैत 10 गते आएको अब कुहिरा आउन थाल्यो भने खुसी लाग्यो रमाइलो लाग्यो म अब यहाँ बसेको 11 वर्ष म यस्तै काम गर्ने खाना बनाइदिने कुहिरा आयो भने एकदम राम्रो लाग्यो अब विकास अलि विकास हुँदै जाँदै रहेछ भनेर थाहा पाएँ पहिला त्यस्तो छैन अहिले राम्रो भइरहेछ पहिला भन्दा धेरै राम्रो भयो
त्यो ठाउँको जुन अहिले हामी 21 सेन्चुरीमा छौँ हामी त्यहाँ चाहिँ मुख्य प्रब्लम चाहिँ एजुकेसन प्रब्लम नै हो सुरुदेखि नै किनकि म जुन पढ्ने बेलामा हामीले स्कुल 3 घण्टा हिँडेर जानु पर्थ्यो अनि त्यो चाहिँ म ओन्ली मेरो भाषा मात्रै तामाङ भाषा मात्रै बोल्ने त टिचर चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट भाषा बोल्ने डिफ्रेन्ट बुक पढ्नुपर्ने त्यसले गर्दा त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ हाम्रो पढ्ने भनेको सुरुको पढ्ने भनेको चाहिँ त्यो कम्युनिटीमा त्यो एरियामा हाम्रो उमेरको हाम्रो जेनेरेसनको मान्छे थियो निरन्तर लागि परेको छ मलाई विश्वास छ निकट भविष्यमा हामीले यो टुरिज्म इन्डस्ट्रीबाट चाहिँ त्यहाँ एडभेन्चर टुरिज्मबाट चाहिँ त्यहाँको जनताको चाहिँ राम्रो चाहिँ फाइनेन्स स्ट्रङ चाहिँ हुने हामीले देखिएको छ यसमा हामी लागि परेको छ
We've just done an acclimatisation trek and we're at 4,100 metres, having left our camp at 3,500 metres that we'll return to later. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, what an amazing location. And we can now see Jugal.
आउँदाखेरि फोर फ्यामिलीहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नो फोन लिएर जानु पऱ्यो क्या स्पेसली यो छ नि सुर्तीको उसहरू चाहिँ मेरो विचारमा भरिया दाईहरूले होला क्या सो उहाँहरूले नै आफ्नो फोन लिएर जानुभयो भने चाहिँ फोन अलिक कम हुन्थ्यो कि
So, we've just got to our camp before we head up to base camp, and we've established that there's quite a lot of trash left around, and now just behind this rock We've got a poo, a human poo, and lots of paper, which will obviously degrade in time. But we are the second group here over 2 days, and the last group here was quite large. And with all of us and our porters, we will also be quite a large group, which means around us, there's probably quite a lot of poop just dotted about. There's tissue paper that's been used that's now floating around in the wind, which obviously is unhygienic and can make people sick.
It is I think it's just frustrating, and it's all about education, and it's all about having a system in place. Having had the conversations with some of especially the two young girls who were on our expedition with us, seeing their reaction and them gaining the understanding of why we were frustrated was so powerful.
Their faces were in anguish when they saw the amount of litter that was there. They were angry. We weren't. We were going, right, let's pick it up, let's get it sorted. They were actually quite angry.
We have to stop using these fires here. Over there it's okay because we have to cook and we have to collect the wood. In that way, if we use it just for our entertainment, it will be finished soon.
This trip is about being an experimental way to help expeditions become environmental, engaged in teamwork with the locals. We could start a drop loose situation.
I think people are going to be more willing
To dig.
here.
Then carry.
Yeah. And then carry from
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
If you're carrying from both, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. So
And there's no reason not
where
to
it's
bury it
possible,
here.
I think it's better to dig, I think.
It's a compromise,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're all in favour of digging here?
Yes.
All in favour of digging.
Yep.
And we can't go in there and say, do it like this, because, we're the big Westerners, this is how you do it. This is how you move your poo, this is how you do it. You can't, you have to collaborate. So I'm never going to presume that they haven't got a better answer than I have. I'm asking the questions.
सफा भयो भने चाहिँ पाहुनाहरू घरमा आउँछ यदि फोहोर भयो भने कोही आउन मान्दैन सो त्यस कारणले चाहिँ हामीले सफाको लागि चाहिँ हामीले एउटा क्याम्पेन चलाएको छ हाम्रो टिमबाट सो त्यसका लागि चाहिँ हामी सधैँ एक्टिभ छौँ हाम्रो जुगलका लागि कसरी क्लिन गर्नुपर्छ.
We've hired an eco-porter with the idea that every trail we use, we can actually contribute more both to our own expedition but also to the local communities.
Jugal clean, Jugal green!
त्यो चाहिँ पानी कसरी उम्रिन्छ कि कस्तो छ?
त्यही भिरमा त्यो पाहाडमा निस्केको छ पानी.
ए पाहाडमा?
हजुर. हामीले चाहिँ डुब्छु भन्छ है हाम्रो भाषामा चाहिँ. यहाँतिर चाहिँ धेरै करायो भने चाहिँ एकछिनमै पानी पर्छ अब बादल जपजप आएर है.
त्यो अनि कसरी त्यो चाहिँ कसरी हुन्छ?
त्यो हल्ला गर्न नहुँदो रहेछ यो हिमालमा चाहिँ. हल्ला गर्यो भने चाहिँ सिधै पानी पर्ने कि.
Oh, thank you. Just yes. Lemons. There you go. How good is that? Oh, yes. Thank you, Thank you. And Ramro Jugal. Hamro Jugal. Ramro Jugal.
We're heading to base camp. We're at about 4,300 metres and the porter team are just delightful. Delightful! You've got our whole team with us. There's a few people a little unsure because some of it's a bit technical. So everybody's been looked after really lovely. It's lovely.
We've got the girls. We've got the pool. We've got the porters. We've got the cook.
We've got everyone.
We've got everyone. And there's Paul filming us. So, hey!
Woo-hoo.
Girl power!
Summit Kangum.
Got it.
Turns out we cry at altitude. No, they're sentimental about their porters. We're a little sentimental. We're saying goodbye to some of our porters and they're not coming back. But some are coming back and some might pop along because they enjoy it or something. But yeah, it's a bit sad.
Okay, go! 1, 2, 3, 10! Bravo, Jugal Himal!
Our Prem is a legend. Look at him carrying it in the box.
Get him whipped. We might not be in there.
Saving the day. Sarah, what's happened? Our tents!
It's a bit of a storm. There's a lot of effort put into trying to save the kitchen tent, which is kind of still upright, but it's ruined.
And our tents!
Our tents got pretty flattened. We've popped the poles that were remaining and just flattened them and rocked them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Plans have changed.
might be a little bit of a pole
Oh God.
repair going on. A little bit.
Oh sheesh. Yeah, our little homes are flat.
I think the storm at base camp set us back only probably a couple of days. I think it altered things a little bit. Like we ended up without 2 mountain tents at high camp because one was obliterated completely and we only managed to salvage enough to rectify the other. I think it was that, or if we get this again and if we get this at high camp, we need to be prepared, and it's really opened our eyes up to what the mountain can throw at us.
I don't think it adversely affected our expedition at all, actually. Apart from I did lose my shiwi in the storm, most annoying.
Tent recovery, morning after.
Are we looking for rips in this?
Oh, Lucy's in her element. Holes everywhere.
I'll go skiing.
Yeah, we would rather go skiing. Kit explosion this morning to get ready for high camp. And a few discussions whether we go left or whether we go right to attack this mountain. And I think we're gonna go left. Bistari.
So we're on our way to high camp. I'll show you how heavily the girls are loaded, and they've done a bit of an old woman favour and taken a hit for the gold girl because their rucksacks are slightly heavier than mine because they're lovely. So here they are, looking slightly overloaded on the way to high camp.
Clever Emma taking the high road.
Yeah, man. Oh, the joy! Himalayan highs.
Yeah. We are trying to cross the glacier to get to our high camp, but we've got some Scottish weather.
More Scottish weather.
Very Scottish. So we've retreated to a moraine and we're gonna sit it out.
Some of the biggest learning that I probably took away from the expedition was how to deal with the weather windows we had and how best to approach the mountain.
So this is the situation. a midway camp. Over there is a real broken bit of glacier that we need to navigate in some clear weather.
I suppose it's the weather that then leads to the snow conditions and the avalanche potential.
I wouldn't say dramatically changed everything at all, but it did make you sit up and take a double take on, let's double check we're doing the right safety decisions here. Let's double check. This is a new area. This is a new ascent. There are no guidebooks to here. We are playing with a new area.
Emma said it's not funny, but it's quite funny because there's Emma and Lucy skiing up, and there was I skiing up until I had a little whoopsie, and now I'm here having a little lie down. Thanks, Pauline. You've made us a house.
So our plan now is to go and potentially do a repeat ascent of Jugal 5, and then from there it looks like there's a potential continuation onto another unclimbed peak at about 6,200 metres. So we're going to go and look and see if that looks achievable and maybe have a go at that. Yeah, it would be amazing, but that's not the pin of success for us. Tomorrow we're going to get up, we're going to go do a bit of recceing, which will get us a bit of extra height, hopefully help us acclimatise a bit more, and then we'll come back down and we'll see how we feel. And if we're feeling good and we've got plenty of time, we'll have a chill, a pack, a sleep tomorrow afternoon, evening, night, and then the following day we might go for a big push up to the ridge, super high, lightweight camp, summit early the next day and back down. That would be like best plan.
That'd be so good. That'd be so good.
This is the girls on the way back from their recce trip. Hello. Amazing, but not going that way.
Amazing, but definitely not going up there that way.
No.
That ridge line. You know that really nice bank of snow you see from base camp?
Yeah, Jugal 5.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Ridge line, that's the way to go.
100% the way to go.
So our original thoughts, our original plan was to stuck to it.
Yeah.
But super freaking cool to be around here. And that's like ready to be.
So not a waste of time.
Oh, absolutely not. No, it's been amazing.
No.
So on a morning we woke up, we realised that there'd been a lot of snowfall overnight and you were sort of digging your way out the tent a little bit.
It was a no-go day, logistically, from the weather point of view, and it was a rest day anyway.
We were starting to watch essentially the mountains fall apart because the sun was hitting, warming up the slopes, and all that fresh snow overnight was just releasing and coming down the different lines on the mountains. As this was starting to happen, we were also able to see the other expedition out on the slopes.
So we were having a rest day, sitting on our side of the glacier, and they were very, very obviously on the other side of the glacier. You know, we could see them.
We saw them making progress up the mountain opposite us. We started to really discuss what are they doing, wonder what their thoughts are, what's their objectives. Should they be there? Shouldn't they be there? Why are they there? It started to grow and we were like, yeah, what are they doing? They really shouldn't be there.
We were sitting there going, they can't be going up that, they won't go, they're not go, they're going up that gully. And we watched them go up this gully, and then we watched them get avalanched.
Four of them were on that slope and we lost sight of a couple for a while, and then we started to see two of them moving, and they, you know, you could see they were going to the one that had been taken the furthest, and then they were there in that position for a long time, like we're talking a couple of hours or more.
We've just been watching what's been going on the other side. It would take us hours to get around there, so what we can do from over here.
I mean, there's a, you know where they'd got to?
There's a chance they could have been hitting the rock.
Well, there is a dot still just below the rock.
On the right?
Yeah. I wonder if that's a person.
We couldn't do anything from this side, so our hands were tied in terms of getting involved. There was no scope for that.
emotional sort of time to watch that all unfold and not be able to do anything. We were too far away. We didn't have the energy. We just wouldn't have been any help if we'd tried to go across. But that one at the bottom is not moving. Our morale and it was awful. It was really horrible. Sarah came back and we told her about it. And, you know, it was really moving. And then the helicopter coming in, we'd all got in our tents by that stage because the weather had come in. And yeah, we were all out then looking and checking that he was going to get rescued and stuff. Thank goodness there was the availability of the helicopter because it's potentially saved that man's life.
Yeah, I think they landed.
It was hard to watch it all unfold and not be able to do anything or ask, what were you doing? Why were you on that mountain? Why were you going up a gully line when all those other gully lines were avalanching too? You know, it just made no sense. And the outcome was someone got pretty badly injured, and it was someone who was being paid to put lines in for a commercial team. You know, you look at all the different stories that are out in the Himalayas and how many accidents and incidents there are, and you're like, oh, bad decisions. It was a reminder of, we're making good decisions here. They shouldn't have been on the mountain today, never mind going up a gully. But it's obviously being fed by this hunger to get this first ascent at all costs, and it was a good grounder for us all. I think it was another little tip in that safety, fun, summit sort of book. It's good because it means he's alive.
What time is it, Pauline?
I've got no idea.
Like 4:30? 4:30.
Between 4 and 5.
Yay! Sarah leading the way, and Lucy and I on a belay ledge, freezing our asses off.
6 metre pitch number 3. I'm hoping it'll take us to the
Yeah. So Lucy doesn't need it in her life. The summit that's ahead of us. Well, that's not even the summit. That's not even the summit. I'm not sure whether I need it in my life.
And I'm having a wee.
And Sarah's been having a wee.
It was really incredible, and I certainly put quite a lot of pressure on myself at that point to be like, this is a decision I want to make, that I don't want to go that much higher.
But this, however, may be our summit.
But it's just there. It's like right there. It's hard, real hard to say that it's gonna go into my scared zone, and I don't want to do that. There's lots of stages to getting to that summit, and so there's lots of little, medium, slightly bigger successes along the way, and I think base camp and high camp getting to those points and doing it on ski was always going to be a success.
The ethos of this trip is to enjoy it and get as much from it as possible. Yes, you have to be safe. Yes, you have to be technical, but it's about who you're with and where you're at. And an expedition is going to be fun. I will put my life on it that this will be a fun expedition.
Toilet, but there's no door, so we're on guard.
feeling better than I ever been. Cairo in his bag, this beat is heaven sent. Back up in my element, new whip, trunk up in the front, I whip an elephant. It's all limo tint, that's how you move when you the president. You assin' off stream, treat him like my last name. Disrespecting, you just signed a check for a long day. Appetizer rappers, you will never be an entree. Really, you a condiment, and I hope y'all follow this. Crazy how people with the most money lack the common sense. Batman over God.
We had a mega ski this morning.
Mega,
So good.
amazing. It's like turns and burns. Oh,
Wiggles and wiggles.
We'd finished, we were at a town. We'd had 24 days together and it had been amazing. And I was popping with excitement. I just needed to get to the end. No ankles broken, no knees gone. Everybody was safe. But I considered it an incredible success. And I was just chomping at the bit to go, yeah, and you know, shout and scream and things. So anyway, the girls sat down with their beer and the three of them were so calm, it was irritating. I couldn't take it anymore. So after about 20 minutes, I went, can't do it. And I just went pop and I went, it's an amazing success. Do you know what we've just done? We've done a first descent, we've done a sustainability project, we're all alive, we all get up. Do you get what we've just done, girls? And they were just like, right. We're going up the hills, gonna have some thrills, gonna get our axes out, jumping past crevasses, shaking all our asses. Yeah, we're gonna scream and shout. Do, 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 do.